Hey, everybody. Welcome in to the first Thunder and Lightning live post-game show here on YouTube Live. Glad that you guys have joined me. A lot of you in the chat already. That is outstanding. Glad to see it. We are brought to you by the good folks over at Paul Davis Golden Triangle. When you have a disaster, when you have something go wrong, you need to call Paul Davis, my good friends there. Jace Caldwell will take care of you anytime there's a problem with your home, flooding, fire, any kind of disaster. Paul Davis Restoration, because your recovery and property improvement are their priorities. 662-769-7285. All right. So, it went all right. It was pretty good. It was, as we see here in the chat from Matt McElwain, mostly easy. I thought offensively they were really, really good. I thought defensively they were okay. I was impressed that special teams were pretty good tonight. They did have the missed field goal, but punting was very solid. The return game was outstanding. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And then you get a block punt for a touchdown. Really, really good, really exciting performance. But most of all, Jeff Lebby and Blake Shapen gave Mississippi State fans exactly what they needed to see tonight, and that is an exciting offense, fast tempo, fast pace, getting up and down the field. State fans, they needed it. They needed it to see it tonight, and they finally got to see it. So that's a great win for Mississippi State. Look, what did I say all week? The only thing you can really take away from these games are the bad things, and that's true. But I will take away that Mississippi State and Jeff Lebby delivered on the promise of what he said he was going to deliver when Mississippi State hired him, that the offense would be fast, it would be exciting, and you can just kind of go from there. So really, really nice win for Mississippi State. Blake Shapen, just incredibly impressive for Mississippi State tonight. I thought that I knew that he was going to be good. And when you listen to what Jeff Lebby said about him in the first couple of camp practice sessions we had with him, he was very adamant that he and Shapen were very much on the same page, that Shapen had complete grasp and command of the offense, and there weren't going to be any issues there. And it showed tonight. Shapen, 15 of 20, 247 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He was 9 of his first 10 to start the game. Also, 44 yards on the ground and a touchdown for Blake Shapen. Would I have liked to see him maybe take a little bit easier and get on get slided a few times? Yeah, sure. But I think you're just gonna have to take that with Blake Shapen. I want to be clear. Let's be clear to start. We're not making overarching comparisons. We're not doing that. But he looked like what Matt Corral looked like for Ole Miss tonight. He was able to escape the pocket, ran the football effectively. The arm strength is unquestioned. The accuracy was there. I thought Shapen looked really, really good tonight, and if that's a great sign for Mississippi State. If Shapen had come out and laid an egg, there would have been a lot of issues. I thought he was really, really good for Mississippi State tonight. I thought in the running game, not a lot of explosive plays in the running game outside of Creed Whittemore. So this is 2 season openers in a row against an FCS team. He has an end around for a touchdown. So I hope he plays more in this one than he did last season. But State averaged 5.8 yards per carry. I said I'd like to see him over 200 yards rushing. They got there. Kevon Lee, Devon Booth, Johnny Daniels, all over 4 yards per carry. The yards per carry for State tonight, 5.8 yards per carry, it's skewed because there's 1 carry for 41 yards in there. From Whittemore. So if you take that out, I'm not going to do the math real quick, but it's 34 carries for 160 some odd yards. So it's probably closer to like 4.2, 4.3 yards per carry. Not bad. Running game is a concern, says Coy Van. Yeah, you would have liked to have been a little bit more dominant on the line of scrimmage. But if you're going to be able to just move the football, getting 3.5, 4 yards per carry, it'll be okay long term. Justin Strong, we can beat Florida, right? We'll talk about the Gators. I try to tell y'all all off season about that Gator team. They're not good. Lucas Quinn, this offense did this without our wide receiver 1. That's pretty impressive. I agree with that. Finally delivers tonight. Catches 104 yards, including a 65-yard score. That was the first score of the game. Kevin Coleman, what a player he appears to be. 5 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Then in the return game, 205 all-purpose yards for him. He had 117 punt return yards tonight. goodness, they kept those punts were just like line drives right into his hands, and he was just taking off and going off. So really, really impressive performance by Caleb. I'm sorry, by Kevin Coleman. I thought he was outstanding. Really looked the part for Mississippi State. And then Mario Craver, the young freshman, only one catch, but it was a 54-yard touchdown. He had another catch in the game that was taken away by a penalty. Maybe a little concern that the tight end position didn't get involved very much tonight. One catch for Justin Ball, no catches for Seydou Traore. He did have a drop in the game, a play where Shapen found him open, but he just dropped the ball. Just kind of is what it is there. I'm sure that as we go through the season, those guys will play a role. I don't think the tight end position will be what it was a season ago for Mississippi State. All in all, if I'm going to grade this offense, I would definitely give it an A tonight. I thought they did everything you needed to do. They would have had more points on the board if we had not had a monsoon in the middle of the or towards the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter here in Starkville. Absolutely came down, and at that point, State just sort of shut everything down. They just wanted to run the football, try to get through the weather. Once it ended, State got back on and took care of us. My buddy, Big Swole Justin Cole, Hadad rules. You rule, buddy. The champ right there. Alan Lundy, I thought the tight end would be more involved. I think we'll see that. And I'm not one of those guys. You guys know me. I don't buy into the whole concept of, we're keeping it vanilla. So that's never true. If you're saying that, your team's just not good. So I don't think that's what it was. I think by and large, the wide receivers were open. The tight ends probably aren't the first read on a lot of play. And so when Mosley and Coleman were open, that's where Shapen was going for the most part. Is fumbling going to be an issue or just the rain? I think it's a little of both. That's from Kyle Bolware. I think it's a little of both. The rain definitely affected, but State very lucky. They put the ball on the ground 4 times tonight, and were able to get them back. Special K, have you seen what's going on with Houston football, Barbay? What's going on? I do not know what's happening in the Houston game, so someone please let me know. Justin Strong, Joe Moorhead's team scored 6 tonight. Still salty about that sound bite. I heard he won the time of possession battle though, so good for him. So offense will give an A. Now let's talk about the defense. I think if you watch this defense tonight, by and large, they kind of look the way Robbie and I have been telling you they were going to look all season long. Now, that's not to say they looked bad. They played well tonight. They were pretty good. But by and large, you can see that this defense is going to struggle at times. For the first 3 quarters, really unable to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Quarterback for EKU, Morrissey, was able to get some passes off through 38 passes tonight. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but kept them out of the end zone. In the fourth quarter, I thought they played their best, and maybe that's at that point EKU is just kind of ready to tap out. But they got a couple of sacks. They blocked the punt. They get the pick 6. I did not see the turnover cowbell either. I need to find this video. I got to find the turnover cowbell and watch that. I haven't seen it yet, so if anybody can direct me that on Twitter, just tweet at me at Brian Hadad and let me know. Charles Potts, Shapen for Heisman, maybe. Reese Monroe gives the defense a B+. Trey Ritchie says C-. I think you're somewhere in the middle there, C+, B-, something like that. They were able to get off the field, but there wasn't that sense of dominance that you would want to see playing an FCS team like this. So my concerns from the defense will still be there. Alan Lundy, will there be a victory podcast for me to listen to on the ride to work in the morning? In the morning, probably not, but definitely early afternoon, maybe by 11, 12 o'clock, we will have Thunder and Lightning up. Robbie and I are going to record tonight, but I want to let this podcast have its time, so I will wait another day for that. Coy Van, we need Don Terry Russell to play more. He played really well tonight. The problem is he's undersized, so you can't leave him out there on first and second down running plays. He'll get overwhelmed out there. But as a pass rush specialist, I think he's very, very good. Dale Young, more Johnny Daniels, please. Fellow Crystal Springsian here. But for real, I thought Daniels ran the ball well in the second half. If I were to rank the running backs, I'd probably go Booth, Daniels, Lee. But we'll see how that pans out. But defensively for Mississippi State, I thought Isaac Smith played really well tonight. He was in double digits in tackles. I had 11 tackles. Recovered a fumble that was called back on a review. Zachary Tillman with 6 tackles. Late Brandon Jennings with 6 tackles. Stone Blanton, 5 tackles. What are you doing, Stone? You're supposed to be replacing Buki Watson and Jet Johnson. I need you to have at least 15 tackles every game. Last I saw, EKU was over 50% on third down. Let's check the numbers on that. They were 8 of 20 on third downs tonight. So not 50%, but not a great number either. They were 0 of 4 on fourth down. So you like that on those fourth down plays. Mississippi State was able to get off the field. Like I said, with like we said with the defense all season, or all season long, so many questions, so much inexperience, so many guys we don't know a lot about. It's just going to be a process. It's just going to be, we have to let these guys sort of figure things out this season. If you're going to score points, though, it's not going to be as big a deal as a lot of people think it is. This isn't 1995 where you got to, if your defense is giving up more than 20 points per game, you're probably going to go 3-9. This is 2024. And Mississippi State, if they give up 24, 25, 26 points per game, but they average 34, 35 points per game, they're going to be just fine. Kenneth Graham, Isaac Smith, best play from the safety position. While he played great, it makes you wonder why Creed Whittemore, Kevon Lee tonight played okay. Why these guys didn't get more reps last year, but that's a question for another day. Should they have pulled shape in one drive sooner? I don't mind that. The only thing and you can't say it bothers you, but the fact that you have the block punt and then you have the pick six, that's two possessions that Parson or Van Buren didn't get. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Parson and Van Buren tonight. But, you're not going to complain when you're putting points on the board. Tyler Ham seemed like short yardage defense was good against the run, but shaky at best in any other situation. Robbie Falk pointed that out to me or mentioned it in the press box here, saying they're great on these short yardage plays when they can just stuff the line and get up in there. It's when they have to, spread out and play wide that's an issue. We'll see how that turns out for Mississippi State. I'm in Vegas for the LSU game, says Coy Van. Enjoy that. Put your money on the Tigers minus 4.5. That's an easy win for them. Special teams, as I mentioned, I was very pleased with that. You did have the missed field goal. I think that was a bad snap. More than a botched kick, but I'll have to go back and watch the replay on that. Nicholas Barmiro was outstanding punting the ball tonight. I only punted twice, but both punts were outstanding. Kevin Coleman, we already mentioned him, outstanding in the return game. Really, really good. Got a text from our good friend Brandon Walker, said don't try to stop him from making Kevin Coleman his favorite player. We won't do that. Brandon, you're clear to go to have the favorite player be Kevin Coleman. That's very good. Also, Robbie Falk had him as his offensive player of the game. Good call. I had him as the X factor. Good call. Anthony Frederick kind of late getting in. Hated to see Dinkins get hurt again. Yeah, we'll find. I guess we won't find out for a few weeks because the SEC's policy on injuries doesn't go into effect until conference play. But Calvin Dinkins did go down tonight. We'll see if Jeff Lebby gives any kind of an update. I wouldn't expect one. I wouldn't expect one on Monday either, but we'll see what happens there. Mason, man, where was Trent Hudson? Don't know. Creed Whittemore got the start, and Hudson didn't play very much. So we'll see what happens there. All in all, if you're grading this game, it's an A. It's an A for Mississippi State. For not only the score, the ease of the victory, the number of players that were able to make big plays, but the fact that, going back to what I said at the beginning of the show for Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby was hired with the promise of exciting offense. We're going to go fast. We're going to throw the ball down the field. It's going to be a show. It was tonight. I mean, it was 14-0 before you can blink. I can't tell you how many times they snapped the ball with over 30 seconds remaining on the play clock. Yes, I said it. It'll be okay. Anthony Frederick, they actually looked organized. They did. They look, and you think about last year and how many times, I mean, we all saw they were blocking each other at times and there were all sorts of issues. This year, they looked well coached and ready to go. Jeffrey Gosnell, we need to be 3-0 going into the Florida game. Great chance to do that, I think. This Arizona State team, I haven't checked in on them. Have that game even kicked off yet? They are playing Wyoming tonight. That game doesn't kick off for another 45 minutes, but I'll have an eye on that game for sure. It's not because of Barbet. Fritz calls his own plays. Well, I don't know the answer to that. I need to go. What's the score of that game? Nobody told me. Who is Houston? Who are they playing tonight even? I don't know the answer to that. They are, oh dear. I didn't. That's a shame. Hey, we are also brought to you by our good friends over at Lazy Guys. If you need dinner delivered in Starkville or Columbus, ditch DoorDash, unload Uber Eats, go local with Lazy Guys. Use the promo code MSUNIL. You'll save $3 on your order, and Lazy Guys will make a $1 donation to the Bulldog Initiative. For orders of $50 or more, you can get $10 off and make it $5 to the initiative with the code MSUNIL50. Download the Lazy Guys app or go to www.lazyguys.com. If you don't want to leave the couch during the game or don't feel like fighting the crowds at the store, if it's picking up groceries for dinner or dinner itself, make sure you go local and support the Bulldog Initiative with Lazy Guys. But they are closed right now, so we'll have to do it another time. So I'm always distracted. There's the press box this time. There's 4 or 5 people up here. I'm the only one who doesn't work for Mississippi State, but there's always just a lot of movement going on. So you just have to be that. Who's behind you? It's AV. She was nice enough. She gave me a ride to the game today. So you want to say hello? There you go. All right. I thought tonight, like I said, State fans, it's really been a rough like 20 months, right? You go back to the Egg Bowl of 2022. State wins that game. They win 9 games. They win the 8th game, and you think, okay, this program's moving in the right direction with Mike Leach, and then you have everything that happens. Mike Leach passes away. You hire Zach Arnett, and that season just falls apart last year. You got to fire a head coach in the middle of the season in his first year. It has been a rough go for Mississippi State. And one of the things I've talked about a lot is, at the end of the day, guys, these are your entertainment dollars, right? I know we all bleed maroon and white, and we want this team to win desperately. But at the end of the day, football is supposed to be fun. And football last year was not fun for Mississippi State. There was no game where there's not one game Mississippi State fans can point to and just say, man, I enjoyed coming to Starkville. It just didn't, and for your personal stuff aside, in the stadium, you didn't have an enjoyable experience. Today was an enjoyable experience from start to finish. And so from that point of view, Mississippi State did a great job with Jeff Lebby of giving the fans something to be happy about. And I thought that was impressive. I thought that's exactly what we needed to see from Mississippi State. Everybody's excited about Chapin. Looking here in the chat, all of you guys are excited. Lance Musgrove fans got to show up. I thought, I'll be honest with you. First off, the student crowd, outstanding. If you're listening, you're an MSU student. First off, you're an MSU student, you're listening to this. Why? Go out, have a good time, enjoy your youth while you've got it. But if you are listening, fantastic work. The student section was packed. They were excited. They were into it. I thought the crowd overall, the state announced it. I haven't seen let's see here if they announced. So they announced 48,724. That's clearly not what the attendance is, but it was probably like 42, 43. Not bad. I mean, it's hot, and then it rained, and it's a terrible opponent. I get it. If State wins next week, they'll have a 50,000 maybe for Toledo. If you win that game, you're going to have a big, packed, excited crowd for that. Big Swole, Justin Cole, 24.5. What a joke of a line. I told y'all on Sports Talk Mississippi, and I told you on Thunder and Lightning, that was a joke. Zach Arnett sitting down there on the sidelines doing nothing last year, beat an FCS team by 41. That line was never in doubt. I said State would double that line, and they missed it by, a point? There wasn't any doubt in my mind that was going to be the case. Our impact player, our Paul Davis impact player tonight. Again, Paul Davis, Golden Triangle. When disaster strikes, you need a name you can trust. Paul Davis Restoration is here to help you from water, fire. Not fold. That's a combination of fire and mold. That would be awful. Fire, mold, and storm damage 24/7. Their expert team provides fast professional service to restore your home and your business to its original condition. They don't just stop at restoration. We also offer property improvement services to make your space better than ever. Basically, it's like this. If you have a fire, not only will they help come clean everything up, they'll help you rebuild as well. That's the difference that Paul Davis Restoration offers you. 662-769-7285. My impact player of the night is going to be Blake Chapin. I love what Coleman did. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was outstanding. But for me, I thought that Chapin looked the part. He looked like an SEC quarterback. He showed toughness. He ran the ball effectively. He threw the deep ball well. He threw the short passes accurately. I don't want to be the guy who just continues to harp about Will Rogers, but that is what State has been missing at that position for the past couple of years. The deep ball and the mobility to escape the pocket. That is something Mississippi State has not had. And so Blake Chapin giving them that tonight, really, really exciting. Who was the running back towards the end of the game that looked so good? That's the true freshman out of Brookhaven, Xavier Gayton, a guy that Jeff Lebby talked about a little bit on Monday at the press conference, saying that he was going to have to play some because of Jeffrey Pittman's apparently imminent dismissal from the team. Will I watch the Washington game? I might stay up and watch it. It just depends. I got to, still got the podcast to do tonight. It depends on when I get home. What's your take on the running game? We'll do some questions here. Sell me the ad spots, you coward. Brooks, hit me up. I'll take anybody's money. Yeah, the Ole Miss Alumni Association can advertise on this podcast. I'll take their money. It's good. Yeah, man, what's my take on the running game? It wasn't as explosive as I would like it to be. I would have liked to have seen a couple of more explosive plays from the running backs, from Booth, from Lee, from Daniels. Didn't get that. I thought they looked okay, but at the same time, they didn't look great. Let's see here. Looking forward to Tellum Falk, although I do get a kick out of Robbie Sad. Well, not tonight. You're going to get the full effect from him. Sam Sharma, what most concerns you about moving forward? The defense. The defense, especially the defensive line. They did not do a great job the first three quarters of getting pressure against a pretty weak FCS opponent. I would have liked to have seen some more sacks, but we didn't get that from them. That's a little disappointing, but by and large, that's probably my overall concern. Reese Monroe O-line doesn't concern you a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, Mississippi State had almost 500 yards of total offense, most of that with the first team out there. Chapin, for the most part, was he sacked once in this game. The State gets over 4.5 yards per carry. They were okay. They were okay. They could have been better, sure, but were they good? They were all right. They're all right. Defensive line, much better, much bigger concern for me than the offensive line. Just me. Andy Simpson, do my predictions change? No, my predictions are still locked in. Still 6-6. I had State beating Florida. Nothing I saw today changed that. Let's have a look at the SEC scoreboard while we're right here. Game's still going on. Let me refresh this just to make sure they're still going on. In the the end of the third quarter, Alabama all over Western Kentucky. No surprise there. 56-0 is the score there. Ole Miss, for God's sakes, what are you doing? It's 73-0. 73. Come on, man. They're playing that game on freshman mode. What's happening there? Notre Dame and Texas A&M are tied at 6 in the third quarter right now. That game is ugly. Alabama A&M trailing 59-3 to Auburn. Auburn all over them. Peyton Thorne, 300 yards passing. Hey, good for you, buddy. I didn't know you had it in you. Southern Miss and Kentucky are in a rain delay up there in Lexington. I hate that. And then the games that have gone final, Georgia, over Clemson. I told you guys that Georgia was going to wipe the floor with Clemson. I was correct on that one. Not that I'm going to be always correct, but I'm going to enjoy it when I am. Texas, no problem with Colorado State, 52-0 there. Tennessee, 69-3. Everybody in the chat, let's do it all at once. Can we do it all at once here? 69-3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. We'll come back to that one in just a second. Vanderbilt, what a result. 34-27 over Virginia Tech in overtime. Commodores blew a lead in that one, but were able to get the win in overtime. Diego Pavia, 100 yards rushing and a good day in the air as well. That's a fun little story there. I don't know what it means for Vanderbilt, but that's fun. South Carolina, Old Dominion, the PTG Outdoors Fishy Line of the Week. We were right on the money with that. Why was South Carolina a 20.5-point favorite in that game? They win 23-19 in a game that they scored on after a late turnover by Old Dominion deep in their own territory. Otherwise, that might have been a big upset. Miami over Florida. I'm so proud of all you guys with the nice. Great job, guys. 41-17. All offseason long, I sort of stuck to my guns that Florida, for lack of a better word, sucked. And I was talking to people whose opinion I value and I trust. Cole Kublik and Peter Burns and guys like that are like, oh, Florida's talented. They're very talented. They're going to be better than you guys think. And I'm just like, I get that they're talented, but when you have a bad head coach, that sucks everything out of you, man. You can't win with a bad head coach in college football. You can't overcome it. So I'm not surprised they got blown out today. I thought they would. I think they'll lose to A&M in 2 weeks. I think they come here 1-2, and I think they lose here. So if you're starting to wonder who's not going to get any coffee, you can probably start to figure that out pretty quickly. So yeah, I don't. The Gators 41-17. Miami just crushed them in their home stadium. So really fun. Great win for Mississippi State. 56-7 is the final score. I'm really impressed with the Bulldogs and really impressed with Jeff Lebby and how that offense looked. It did look like a modern-day college football offense is supposed to look, and that made me very, Very happy. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I have enjoyed doing this. I think you guys have too. Please let me know. Shoot me a tweet on Twitter at Brian Hadad. Let me know if you enjoyed this. You enjoyed this format. Next week's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be doing this at 2 a.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it. Also, I want to let you guys know, give you guys a heads up. If you live on the coast, next Sunday, I will be at Boomtown Casino in Biloxi. We're going to be kicking off the NFL season there. I'll be there to watch the Saints at the Boomtown Sports Bar. We're going to be doing a giveaway. We got $20, all you can eat and drink. Please come check that out at Boomtown Casino in Biloxi. I will be there live on Sunday to watch the Saints. We'll take some calls, so I'll let you guys know that number. We can talk Mississippi State. We can talk the Saints. We can talk about whatever you want. Looking forward to that right now. Guys, appreciate a lot of you guys here tonight. I really appreciate it. We're going to continue to grow this thing. I want to thank our sponsors again, Lazy Guys and Paul Davis Golden Triangle. We'll be back next week with another Thunder and Lightning postgame, and tomorrow we'll be back with Thunder and Lightning. You know what it is. Tell them, Falk, the things that are true. Coffee is for closers. Football season is back. Talk to you guys again next week.